We're in Carlstadt, New Jersey today, or Rutherford if you believe my phone, and that's just across the river from New York City. It is about 9:17 daylight savings time. I wonder sometimes when I'm looking at people's outside footage if what time of day it is and where they are. So that was your timestamp, date stamp. I don't know if you care what day it is. It's Tuesday the 15th, but by the time you see this, it probably won't be. If you are viewing this on Howell Underground, I urge you to come over to the new channel, Non-Toxic Masculinity. I don't think you can find it in any searches yet, so I link to it in the show notes of Howell Underground, so you can click on it and come right over. Feel free to subscribe and get notifications so you know what's going on in the world of non-toxic masculinity. Goodbye, Mr. Nice Guy. If you saw the first episode, the introduction episode, I introduced what we'd be talking about somewhat, and I also made sure you knew it was open-ended, and that your comments about what we talk about are very welcome. Hopefully, as we get more subscribers, we'll find more and more variety of topics, and anything is fine. If you're interested in trucking, you're welcome to ask questions about that. If you're interested in relationships, you're especially welcome to ask about that. I've decided that the content of this channel will follow closely a class I was teaching at Millersville University called Love Songs for the Ages, which was really a class about sex positivity, and it related to mostly popular but all kinds of music that you would classify as love songs. And over the years we've decided that most love songs of that name, of that ilk, are what I would call dysfunctional. And also we'll explain, no, we won't explain because we don't have a clue what it is probably, but we'll explore the idea of what genuine love is and compare that to attachment and other difficult topics. Attachment is difficult now because there's a best-selling book out on it. I want to mention it to you. It's about the different attachment styles: anxious, avoidant, and secure. I really like the book. I just finished it. My favorite part is about effective communication. And I used effective communication recently in my own relationship with my partner to figure something out that had been frustrating me for a while. And so now I've got this conundrum about attachment, because the Buddha says attachment is the root of all suffering, or something like that. I think we misparaphrasing, but that's how he's quoted often. And in my experience, attachment does cause a lot of suffering. If you watch Aaron Dowdy's channel, he'll tell you that. And Bob Zink, he's pretty interesting. He'll tell you things about attachment, about detaching, and that it's a powerful way to use the law of attraction. So you can detach after you've manifested, after you've put your vision instructions out for the universe to follow. Then you detach and you accept what the universe is bringing you. And acceptance is interesting. Acceptance I really believe in. Robert also talks a lot about gratitude, and I do believe that's a key when you're interacting with the universe, to be grateful in advance for the goodness that's coming to you, for the abundance. I welcome every opportunity, not always in the moment, but over time I make a habit of welcoming every opportunity that allows me to grow, that allows me to figure out new things, because I think people would be lost without problems to solve. I think we just sit around and scratch ourselves and do text messaging and watch TikToks if we didn't have problems to solve. Not that I don't like TikToks, because you can find a lot of really clever problem solvers on TikTok, life hackers. So TikTok is great, but we do spend a lot of time interacting in the surreal world, and If you think about it, the way we interact with life, with the universe, is distracted myself. I was watching the guy go across the parking lot and into the open door, and then I was like, I wonder where that door goes. And there, squirrel! I wasn't thinking about what I was saying there. When I'm in class, sometimes I'll say, what was I talking about anyway? And then some kind student will say, oh, you were talking about attachment, and you were talking about how it relates to your recent relationship quandary. And then I'll finally figure out where I was and try to get back there. Or sometimes I just say, oh, let's leave that where, which is frustrating to some people. But I do want to keep thinking about the idea of attachment and the idea of gratitude and putting your vision into the universe and being grateful in advance when you have problems to solve. It really helps humans to have something to figure out, and it makes us feel good about ourselves when we do figure it out. Oh, this is nice. Fix that. There, now I've got the wire out of the way. But that was bugging people. But this is the unedited new fling I'm doing instead of Howell Underground that was very edited. I'm trying not to edit much. I still edit a little bit when I'm sitting here gazing into the blue sky and thinking about things that I'm going to say next. I edit that part, but when we're driving I won't have to. You can just watch the scenery. I don't know if I'm going to drive very often and talk to you because I don't want to be distracted and dangerous, and I imagine I would get comments if that happened too often. But if I'm not talking, I might at the end of some of the segments just go down the road with you, maybe comment on things I'm seeing. I've seen some pretty good YouTube channels where people are driving and talking. I like the sing-along karaoke. James Corden in I don't know if he's really driving though. Kind of looks like maybe they've got scenery going along behind him on a green screen. But I don't watch it very often. You can tell me in the comments if that's true or not. So here we are, thinking about relationships, thinking about problems to solve, and that it's good for us to solve problems, welcoming problems so that we have things to do. I've been challenged recently because I'm in an open relationship and I'm getting older, and my partner is younger than I am. And when she dates people who are younger, much younger than both of us, sometimes I get in a quandary about my own value. And in the non-attached way of thinking about it, I would say, okay, I've got to figure this out on my own. I don't want to be a leaky vessel tied to a buoyant vessel. I want to get my own vessel shored up so that I'll be an equal partner, and I won't be like the way we've thought about codependency. But the book on attachment styles, I'm trying to remember what it's called. Maybe I should take a break here and look it up. Hey Siri, book on attachment styles.
Okay, I found this on the web for book on attachment styles. Check it out.
The 5 best books on attachment theory. Well, I could tell you what they are. The one I just read is called Attached: The New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. And the other 4, I'll let you go on Siri and figure it out. And I'm going to leave this tab open so I can find it again and read the other ones too. Because it's intriguing because I haven't liked the idea of attaching. But if you look at human biology, you realize that humans are hardwired to attach and have been for millions of years. It's in our best interests evolutionarily to attach and to work together. And so some of us, when our primary partnership is threatened, we go into an anxiety mode because it has been in our best interest to go into high alert and make sure that our primary partnership is safe. And those are the anxious people, and maybe 25% of us, according to the book, are of that style. Half of us are secure, 20% are avoidant, which is an interesting style that my partner often seems to exhibit, and that I used to exhibit when we first got together 8 years ago. So I look at all of these styles, and they are plastic, according to the book, that you can evolve from one style into another, and I've done that, so I agree that that's possible. When you look at attachment from the idea of evolution as a necessary part of human experience, it makes the part about clear communication really important, because if you are bound together, even your biology affects your heart rate, and your blood pressure and other things are affected, other physical things are affected by your connection to your partner. So asking your partner for help is okay. Now, I don't want to be a whiny bitch and always saying, you need to help me, you need to help me, and tiptoe around my insecurities. And as I get older, I find I have more and more of them. And also, I'm less good at faking. At the beginning of our relationship, I don't think she realizes, but when she would go out with other people, I would keep and act like it didn't bother me, and act like I wasn't challenged by it, and I would handle the challenge alone, which doesn't really fit the model of the Attached book I just finished reading. So if you think about it, asking for help is a good adaptive strategy, as long as you're not expecting your partner to tiptoe around your insecurities and prop you up and do more for you than should be done. Think of a good parent who doesn't do everything for their kids, allows their kids to struggle, but babies who don't have their needs met in a judicious and timely fashion, this is according to Robert Glover, who wrote No More Mr. Nice Guy, babies who don't get their needs met well become anxious, and it doesn't help their life. So meeting your baby's needs and meeting your partner's needs quickly without them panicking actually soothes them and makes them braver. And so if you have been afraid of coddling your children or coddling your mate and doing too much for them and helping them too much feel comfortable, according to the book Attached, if you work quickly to appease their, hey, there's a dog, it's a border collie. You have to take my word for it. 2 trucks over. A lot of truck drivers have their dogs with them. Clutch Trucker is a good example. He has Rusty the meatball dog, and I like to watch Clutch Trucker. Shout out to Clutch Trucker if he ever finds his way to this one. He's really good because he answers comments, and he always puts a heart when I comment on his page. Oh, so I was totally distracted there. Squirrel! Or a dog barking at a squirrel. So the idea of asking your partner for help, I think it's really good to ask your partner for help and be really clear, as opposed to using strategies and tactics in a more adversarial, contestant way. Because if you look at some of the information on the internet, it says how to make your partner miss you, and you use kind of manipulative strategies to try to get somebody to do what you want without really telling them what you want. And I admit that can be a powerful way of doing things, but I don't think it feels as good as when you just honestly lay out for your partner, this is what I need, and set boundaries and say, this is what I can't tolerate, this is what I can't accept, and negotiate when you need to. But it talks about protest behavior. Protest behavior is like trying to make your partner jealous when they are out too much and with their friends, or other manipulative strategies. And I agree with the attached book that it's better, even when you're not, even while avoiding being a whiny bitch, it is good to lay out your needs clearly and see if maybe your cooperative partner will cooperate. And if you have an avoidant partner, especially if you have a narcissist or some kind of psychopath or sociopath partner, and you say, this is what I need from you, or this is what I would like from you, and this is what I would like to talk about for your consideration, and their reaction to that tells you if you're compatible, tells you if they'll be a good match. And people with the anxious avoidance style are often afraid to set boundaries, and they're often afraid to rock the boat too much, and they're afraid to piss off their partner. And they're willing to go along with things and let the partner, especially an avoidant partner, set the tone and set the boundaries and rules and just go along, assuming that if they do rock the boat too much, their partner will dump them. And that's not a healthy relationship. And so if you're thinking, I want to be powerful as a person, as an individual, your partner can help you feel braver and more powerful if your partner is willing to support you and help you. And you can help your partner become braver and more buoyant in the water, in the stormy seas of life. So I would say, when you're working with someone, you can, like, if you get confused by computer things easily, and you're always asking your partner, hey, how do you do this? And your partner says, well, you figure it out the way I did. I'm not opposed to that, you know. And if you say that about relationship issues, maybe you could figure this out. Maybe you could suck it up a little bit and become more powerful on your own without me bailing you out all the time. And I think that's fine. But I think also it's good to work together. And this is a change. So if you were in any of my love songs classes, you often heard me talking about being seaworthy vessels. And if you're floating along and you floating along with a partner who's also a seaworthy vessel, you don't necessarily need to tie your boats together with an attachment. And this is the part I'm revisiting. I used to say that it was leaky and the other person was trying to help bail out the boat, but it was leaking too fast and the boats were tied together, both boats would sink. And you ought to be willing and ready to cut the rope between the boats at a moment's notice. And I can see the wisdom in that, but at the same time I can see the wisdom in going through life with a strong commitment to each other and reassurance to each other that you're not going anywhere. And I think it comes down to helping both partners feel valuable. Because if one partner is anxious and isn't certain inside that she or he is valuable, it can lead to the other partner taking advantage. And I think that if both partners aren't helping each other feel valuable, that you can have a real problem. Alright, I said I was going to keep these shorter, so if there's anything else after, this, it'll just be driving down the road. I'll turn it back on if I'm going somewhere where I'd like you to see what's happening, or if I see anything notable. And I have to tell you, truck drivers see a lot of notable things as they go down the road. So, that's the portion of the show that's analytical, thinking about relationships. Please leave your comments below, and we'll keep the dialogue going. Well, we're almost home, so I thought I'd pop this back on and give you a pretty view. We're on Highway 30 westbound, and we're almost 441, where we're going to turn. Which way are we going to turn? Girls are good with directions, I know, so I should ask a girl. We're turning west. No, we're going west now. We're going, that way's north. So we're going south in a minute on Highway 441, also known after a few miles as River Road. So you get to see the Susquehanna River. If you're not from around here, then this will be a good opportunity to see the very beginning of springtime. If you look at the trees, you can see little life about to burst out of them. You can see the color if you look at the whole landscape. A lot of old barns in Pennsylvania. Oh, I forgot to say we're in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. If you're from around here, you say Lancaster. If you grew up around here and moved away, you'll probably enjoy this as much as I enjoyed Clutch Trucker's episodes when he was driving in Oregon.
In 1¼ miles, take the exit on the right to Pennsylvania 441, then keep left.
She has good diction. Left. There's the Turkey Hill Experience.
Take the exit on the right to Pennsylvania 441, then keep left.
The huge cow.
Keep left to Front State Route. In 4¼ miles, turn right on River Road.
That's the river. You can see it just a little bit over the horizon. There's a walking trail, a rail trail right up here on the right. Trying to keep my 100% safety score, so I like to go the speed limit through here. That's the Waze. Waze tells you where train tracks are, where the train tracks are. The thing still makes me jump when I hear it. Central Bend. I used to drive for that company. I passed a driver on the way who was from Four Seasons Produce. You're welcome. He didn't believe I was going to stop. had driven the very tractor he was driving. I remembered the number, so he rolled down his window, I rolled down my window at a stoplight, and I told him I used to drive that truck. I thought that was cool. This little coffee shop on the right, an ice cream shop, combination to have coffee and ice cream together. If it's a hot day and you drink hot coffee or cold coffee, it goes so nicely. This town is called Columbia. This is just the side closer to the river. Oh, look at those little guys. I don't know if you can see them. I got a few cars behind me because I was going the speed limit in the 25 mile per hour zone. Here comes another Turkey Hill. So wave with me, right? Everybody wave. Hey. He waved back if you couldn't tell. Alright, we're just to the end of the 25 mile an hour zone. But it's still slow because we're in town.
In 1/2 mile, turn right on River Road.
This is River Road, really. But she thinks it starts up here around the bend. I only have 4 cars behind me now.
Turn right on River Road.
Corners, if cars are coming to meet you, you have to stop. Because otherwise, your trailer goes clear over both lanes. Same with this one. Let's see if this guy will wait for me. Most of the locals will, if you bluff them a little bit. There we go. And then you always wave at them.
2.5 miles, arrive at home, on the right.
This is probably the prettiest part. I like to look up on the hill. That hill is called Turkey Hill. The hill that named all the ice cream and iced tea and lemonade. those windmills came down this road, they had to widen this bridge we're about to go over so they could get the windmills across. And after they widened the bridge, they put it back the way it was, which really bothered people who drive across it, because it's a dangerous bridge. You have to, again, it's one-way traffic for long trucks, so it's good that we didn't meet that guy on the bridge. Gotta kind of swing wide. It's worse when you're going the other way. There we go. Oh, that's a beautiful view. That was the Turkey Hill wave. I don't know if you can see him. Things look bigger to me than they do in this little camera to you. When I was showing you the guy that squirted himself with the hose, I had to enlarge that view really big. Maybe I'll do that with the two waving truck drivers so you can see them. They generate a lot of the power with those windmills at the plant.
In 3/4 of a mile, arrive at home, on the right.
That big hill behind is a landfill, so a lot of the trucks that go up this hill are loaded garbage trucks. The big ones. But the Turkey Hill trucks usually go up empty. But not always. When you have a backhaul, if you have a heavy backhaul, that could be interesting. Turkey Hill.
In 1/4 mile, arrive at home, on the right.
Now we're already home. On the right, you can see the scales where we weigh out if we have a heavy load, and we have to go over other scales. That's the fuel island up there. I'm going to leave you before I do that, and I'm going to leave you before I put this trailer back here. But I'll give you the view before I put the trailer back. There you can kind of see the river from Turkey Hill. There, you can look out over there. Let's see. All right, I'll leave you with that.